I see a bad moon rising. Actually, scratch that. No, I don't.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Oktoberfest here on Thumb Together. I'm Andrew Fantasia. As usual, thank you so much for tuning in, and if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and give some love to that subscribe button as well. A werewolf movie where you never see a shot of the full moon? It happened, and it also happens to be the best werewolf movie ever made, in this guy's opinion. That's right, at the top of the show when I made that I don't see a moon joke, that joke actually meant something, because you won't see a full moon in this movie. See? Even the jokes on this channel have contextual meaning. Suck it, Chris Stuckman! I'm kidding. I kid because I love Chris. You're beautiful. The Wolfman is one of the classic Universal monster mashes, and it is my second favorite of the bunch after Son of Frankenstein, but it is still one of my favorite horrors of all time, which is why I dropped it right here into this category. It came out in 1941, so it's a good deal more recent than some of the more OG of the bunch, like Frankenstein and Dracula. Also, true to 1941 and true to the Universal Monsters formula, it is an incredibly short movie. Folks, The Wolfman clocks in at 70 minutes. So if you want to throw something on while you're cooking dinner, you can literally watch The Wolfman in the time it takes for your dinner to be prepared and then watch another movie while you're eating dinner. That's how it rolls. Short movies can have their merits every once in a while. Lon Chaney Jr. plays Larry Talbot, a young man who is the heir to a large fortune. You know, his family, the Talbot family, they're doing okay for themselves. In fact, if they want to throw a couple bucks my way, I'm not going to complain. But he's been around jet setting and backpacking and all that stuff, and he comes back to his hometown where, surprise, surprise, he gets attacked and bitten and clawed by a werewolf. And then the next night, the full moon is still up, even though we don't see it, and Larry is running around as a werewolf himself, tearing into people, howling, fur all over his face like Chewbacca, scaring the bejesus out of anybody he comes across. And of course, when he wakes up, at first he has no memory of what's been happening to him, but then he starts to clue in, and he starts telling people, oh my god, help me, I think I might be a werewolf, I think I might be hurting innocent folk, and everybody just seems to write it off as just the crazy ramblings of a young man who's probably had a bit too much to drink. There's a girl in the village who he's got his eye on because he thinks she's pretty swell, and she thinks he's pretty swell too. But guess what? Now he's worried that if he hangs out with her, he's going to put her in danger because he's got some werewolf all up in his bloodstream. And that's the plot of The Wolfman. Again, it's 70 minutes. Don't expect anything too crazy and intricate. I think what makes this movie so special is that apart from all the other Universal monster films, okay, so apart from Dracula, Mummy, Creature from the African American Lagoon, Frankenstein, apart from all of those guys, the Wolfman is also the hero of the story. He is our main protagonist. All the other movies have different main protagonists. They have different people that you root for. And in all those other movies, the monster barely, if at all, has any lines of dialogue, so we don't really have any connection with the creatures. Here, yeah, the Wolfman doesn't speak English when he's the Wolfman, but when he's Larry, which is 90% of the time, he is a main protagonist. He's our hero. We're following him around. We want him to go on a date with this girl that he thinks is cute. We want him to have a better relationship with his father because they've become kind of estranged over the years. We want to see this guy succeed. He's just a really likable guy. Lon Chaney Jr. just has this face. He has like a proto Tom Hanks kind of look to him, but he's just got that likability to him where you're just like, oh man, I hope this guy makes it out okay, because he's just a swell fella. And that, I believe, puts it a cut above the rest of Universal's monster classics. The monster is our hero. And that hasn't happened before. And I think the vast majority of Universal Classics fans will agree with that statement, because from what I gather, The Wolfman is one of the most popular of the bunch. It's just a solid movie through and through, and it even has a solid sequel through and through. That's right, Universal made a lot of sequels to their movies, but they're not the most, these sequels wouldn't fly today. They have little, if any, continuity to what came before. There's random changes that don't make any sense. A character who was dead in one movie will come back as a different character in this one. Like, it's just completely off the rails. Here, we get a sequel called Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman that follows the ending of the original Wolfman very, very clearly. You get more of the adventures of Larry Talbot trying to escape his lycanthropy and trying to just go back to some semblance of a normal life, and nobody believes him, and you love the dude so much and you just want to see him succeed. You get back to all that. Plus, There's a Frankenstein monster thrown in just for good measure. It's fantastic. It is a fantastic pair of movies. Together, you can watch them, and you have yourself a really, really good duology. Now, they did end up remaking this in the new millennium, but instead of going the Tom Hanks route, as I would have suggested, they went with Benicio del Toro. Now, I can't talk about this movie because I have never ever seen it. I've heard mixed things. I'm curious because I love the Wolfman and I love Benicio, so maybe one day I'll check it out and see what it has to offer. But you can't go wrong with the 1941 classic as they come, Wolfman. And if everybody watching this watches Wolfman, if everybody buys a copy of the Wolfman on iTunes or on Blu-ray or something, if we get enough circulating, we get the heart of the Wolfman pumping again, then maybe, just maybe, General Mills will bring back Fruit Brute cereal. A man can dream. Anyway, that's Oktoberfest for today. That's Wolfman. I'm Andrew Fantasia, and you're pretty damn sexy yourself, I'm not gonna lie. I'll see you here next time, and until then, adios.